All right, hopefully you did some work on your own. We're going to figure out how many quarts 5.5 gallons are, how many pints 5.5 gallons are, and how many cups 5.5 gallons are. Okay, if I have 5 houses lined up in a row, I would have how many quarts? Well, I have 5 houses, so I take the number 5. For quarts, I'm going to take the number 5, and I'm going to times it by however many were in a gallon. Well, in each gallon, I have 4 quarts, so you just do 5 times 4, which would be 20. But remember, I didn't just have 5 gallons, I had 5.5. So if I had half a house more, how many quarts would that be? 2 more. So it's not just 20, it's 20 plus those 2. And so the answer would be 22 quarts. Pat yourself on the back if you got that right. As far as pints go, you just have to figure out, well, there's 8 pints in 1 gallon, so I would take that 8 times it by 5. So to get this one, I did 8 times 5, which is 40. Why am I timesing it by 5? Because there's 5 houses. But remember, it's 5.5 gallons. So then I have this number 40, and I take half of 8, which would be 4, and I get 44. The answer should be 44 pints. And then for cups, same thing applies. Well, there were 16 cups in a gallon, so I take the number 16, and I times it by 5 gallons. And 16 times 5 is 80. If you didn't know that, you can work it out. And then I take half of 16 because I still have half a gallon. So then I would take half of 16, which would be 8. So I have 80 and 8, which gives me 88 cups. I know I moved pretty quickly through that, but you should have tried to figure that math out on your own before you watch this video. If you didn't, then you didn't follow all of the directions. So please listen to the directions. Go ahead and turn the page. When we're dealing with gallons, it's the same thing as trying to do unit conversions, except for we're not using the staircase anymore. The staircase is only for the metric system. I want you to remember that. The staircase is only used for the metric system. Okay? When we're talking about customary units, then we're talking about gallons and pints and quarts and cups and all of those things, okay? What I want you to do is to answer these questions really quickly, okay? If I had, these are going to be called conversions. So if you just want to write convert, you can do that. Really quickly, it's really helpful at the top of your journal to just draw another quick gallon house. And you can just do it with your pencil. But if you just draw a big G, like that, I actually usually like that to go up halfway. Remember, in 1 gallon, we had 4 windows. But we don't just call them windows. We call them quarts. So we make them into these Qs. Inside of every quart, there's 2 people. And inside of one of those people, there's 2 cups. So you can write the little C's like that if you want. I just can't draw the little tiny C's inside of that. So do the best you can. What we're going to do here is we're going to try and make some quick conversions. Okay? The first one I want to try is 20 cups equals how many quarts? So, if you think about this, I have 20 little cups. How many windows would that fill? That's what it's asking. How many windows would that fill? Do you remember the day in class when we talked about when you do conversions, if you go from small to large, then you divide. Remember that? Stella likes donuts. Stella, I never got you your donut. We're going to have to do that. So if you write with what you know, so the first step here is to put what you know first. Put what you know first. So, for example, I know 20 cups. I know that's what I have, so I put that first. Number 2, I have to decide what's happening. So I'm just going to put a colon here. Decide what's happening. Are you going from something smaller into something larger? Because if you're doing that, then you need to divide by whatever the connecting number is. So remember, Stella likes donuts. Divide. But if you go from something large, like I had quarts first or I had gallons first, if you go from something large to something small, then you multiply. Okay? So large to small, you multiply. Small to large, you divide. So you're going to have to do all of those things. Step 1, put what you know first. Step 2, decide which of those two things you're doing. Step 3 is going to make the conversion. All right, so there's 3 steps. Let's just quickly show how we do that. So I first have to put what I know first, and it's already there. I have what is known first. I have to decide, is cups going from something small to something larger, like quarts, or is it going from something larger to something smaller? So you just got to think about your house for a minute. The cups are like the smallest things on there. So it's definitely going from something small into quarts, the quarts are the windows, into something large. So we are doing this one, small to large. So I'm going to be doing division. So we just go ahead and put the division symbol in there. I'm going to do division because I went from something small to something large. And what do I divide by? It's by the connecting number. So how many cups were in 1 quart? So if I come back here and I look back at my big quart window, how many cups were in this whole orange window? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 cups in 1 quart. So I take the number of cups I have, which was 20, I divide it by the connecting number, which was 4, and I get the answer of 5 quarts. 20 divided by 4 is 5. That's how I got that answer. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Now we looked for quarts. So remember they were orange. It's 5 quarts. Think about that for a minute. If I really had 5 quarts, so I had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 more, would I have 20 cups? Let's just count them one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then I would have a whole other. Let me think about this for a minute. Is 20 cups 5 quarts? Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'd have a whole other window. 17, 18, 19, 20. That's how it works. I got confused a little as I started counting one by one. But it is 5 quarts, okay? So something small to something large, I divided by the connecting number. We might want to write that over here. Small to large, you divide. Large, small, you multiply. Let's just write by the connecting number. I'm actually going to say by the connection number. Sorry that's written so small in there. Good luck with that. Okay, let's just try another one. Let's try 15 quarts. A quart is abbreviated like that. QT. And I want to know if I had 15 quarts. Think about that. That's 15 windows. If I had 15 quarts, how many cups would that be? Put what you know first. I know I have 15 quarts, so I did number 1. Number 2, decide, is this quarts smaller or larger than cups? Is a window bigger or smaller than the people's eyes? It's definitely larger. So you're going from something large to something small. So large to small, you multiply. What do you multiply that by? The connection number. What is the connection between quarts and cups? So for example, how many cups are in a quart? Here's one window, a quart. How many cups are there in this window? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. This is going to be something you're just going to start to memorize over time, but for now, it's okay. So I take my 15, I multiply it by 4, and 15 times 4 is 60. And they were looking for cups there, so I'm going to try and make that 60 be blue. If I have 15 windows, I will have 60 cups. That makes sense to me. If I were to have 15 Sodalicious drinks, I'm going to drink mine right now. If I were to have 15 of these, there would be tons of cups, right? Because inside of each one of these, there's 4 cups. So you just take 15 times 4. Makes sense to me. All right, let's try another one that isn't cups and quarts. That's all we've done so far. Let's do this one. Let's go 3 cups. Oh, so not very much. Think about that for a minute. 3 cups is how many pints? 3 cups is how many pints? I want you just to visually think about that for a minute. 3 cups. 1, 2, 3. So I don't even have that one. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 cups. 1, 2, 3. And they're asking me for pints. So visually, 1, 2, 3. I know I have a full pint. And how much more of another one? It's half. So I should have 1.5 pints. That's just by me visually looking at it. But let's go ahead and do the real math so that people don't get confused. But please use the drawing if you can. That's why it's there. 3 cups is how many pints? We're going to go back and check our math. Cups is something pretty small. Is it going to something larger, like a pint? Yes. So it went from something small to something large. Small to large, I divide. What am I going to take 3 divided by? Whatever the connection number was. How many cups are originally in a pint? My little drawing here is just not helpful at all, so I'm just going to keep switching back. How many cups are in 1 pint? 2. 1, 2. So I would divide it by 2. 3 divided by 2, that's going to look like this. 3 divided by 2. And I know that 3 halves is 1.5. And these are pints. They're purple. I knew that 3 halves was 1.5. If you didn't know that, you'd have to go, how many times does 2 go into 3? Once, with 1 left over. The denominator is stubborn and stays. So 3 cups is 1.5 pints. So that was definitely a little bit harder, but I think it's okay. I really think you could do this. Will you go ahead and over here, maybe put this in a green box, the steps that we made. And we're going to kind of do these orange corners. I kind of want to make all the colors we've used show up in this box. I think maybe I'll just do blue dashes. This is just because it doesn't apply just to the purple color. It applies to all of the things we've learned. So you can use the picture and use your brain if you are a visual learner. Or you can go through these steps if you like written down steps and how to solve them. It's important to know both because sometimes in your head you can't visualize like 412 pints and how many quarts that is. That's going to be a little bit harder. But if it's these basic ones, you should be able to use the picture and be just fine. All right, tune into the next video to find out what we're accomplishing next.